We have a Lydian tonal center now, so let's take a quick look at the chords, refresh ourselves on what that really means, and then I'll give you some of the ideas that I was playing and how I was targeting that tonal center. So our chords, we've got a G chord, G5, to an A, to a D with an F sharp bass, back to G. So these chords, this would be 4 in the key of D, 5 in the key of D, 1 in the key of D, back to 4. So our tonal center is that of the 4 chord, okay, which is what modality is all about. So okay, so you can hear that's the tonal center of that progression. Now, using obviously the D major scale over that, right? We're not using the G major scale. This is the 4 chord in the key of D, and the other chords are coming from the key of D, which means we need to use a scale that those chords come from, right? But target that 4 chord instead of the 1 chord. So now what we're looking to do is pick out the sweet notes of that G chord. So those notes would be G, B, and D, wouldn't they? All right. So what I'm looking to do also, there's a characteristic tone of modality or modes. And the Lydian mode, the characteristic tone is the sharp 11 or the sharp 4. So what I'm really looking to do is find that C sharp in there as well. So the C sharp is the major 7 of the key of D. So you saw me open up my line, if you like, playing C sharp, right? And then an octave of it. So I was really pulling out that Lydian sound, the sharp 11, but making sure it resolved so it wasn't too tense against the resolution. Does that make sense? So I'm pulling out the tone and the flavor of it, but I'm not laboring on it and staying there. So I wanted to pull that flavor out, which is why I played this. And I'm making it nice and melodic as well. So I'm pulling out that tension note plus making it melodic. Now I'm also phrasing towards that tonal center resolution. So I'm using my D major scale to do that. So let's take a look at a couple of other parts of the lines that I was playing, okay? So I'm playing my D major scale stuff here in position. So if I was to play the scale, it would... So you saw me playing ideas in and around here to begin with, right? So... So you can hear that's the major scale of D, but playing and targeting tones here. Now, some other ideas that I played. There's some nice string skipping stuff going on. Now let's qualify the notes. My idea here I'm starting with a B note, major 3rd of the G chord. There's G, and there's the major 7. So they're all chord tones of our G. The line here is going from the F sharp, E to a D. D is the 5th. So again, I'm targeting tones of that G tonal center chord. There's my sharp 11 thing again, okay? So there's method in why I'm playing these lines, right, and why they sound good against the chords, because they're in the chord. In this example as well, the tonal center comes around very quickly each time, all right? We've got G, A, the D, and it keeps cycling back round to that G. So almost anything I play probably could use being a chord tone, all right? So think in terms of that. You don't have to play string skipping ideas, but target those tones of the G chord, all right? So we have a Lydian progression, a Lydian tonal center, and that is the 4 chord in the key of D in this example, right? So target the G tones, G, B, and D. Pull up the track and really listen to that tonal center first, then target the tones that you like. Maybe even find lines you like first before you even attempt to solo. And, you know, I often do that. I'll find things that I really like the sound of, and I develop that into a full solo. So, you know, this thing here. They're the kind of things that I would do and sit and work out a line. And then that makes that part of my style, my motifs, and everything else. Okay, guys, the fourth resolution point, add Lydian mode in the key of D.